Wake up at 3:33 a.m. and you might wake up somewhere else entirely. The room looks the same, the clock glows faintly beside you, but something feels off. Your hands feel wrong and the numbers on the clock just won't stay the same. And you're not alone, because what you've woken up into may not be reality at all. Tonight I'm going to show you a strange and simple experiment that taps into a glitch in human consciousness. It's a doorway into lucid dreams, false awakenings, and that unnerving liminal space between worlds. And all you need to do is to go to bed with an intention. And if it works, you'll wake up at 3:33. And that's when things get weird. The magic of the witching hour. Okay, so let's start with a bit of folklore. For centuries and across cultures, people have spoken of the witching hour. It's a time between 3 and 4 a.m. where all sorts of strange things happen. Ghost sightings, strange noises in the night, things moving on their own, shadowy figures, even demons. It's a time where the veil between our world and the world of the other is at its thinnest. But I'm not here to peddle ghost stories. Here's where it gets interesting. That same window between 3 and 4 a.m. marks a significant change in how your brain operates. It turns out that the horror films and old wives' tales were actually based in something real. Something very strange. So if you go to bed at a typical hour, say 10:30, by the time 3:33 rolls around, it turns out you'll be in one of the longest and most stable periods of REM of the night. And REM is the dreaming phase, the point where your mind is at its most surreal, strange, creative, and unfiltered. And amazingly, when you're in REM, your brain is nearly as active as it is right now when you're awake, but there's one major difference. The part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex is mostly shut down, and that part of the brain is required for critical thinking, self-awareness, reflection, logic, that kind of thing. So when you're dreaming, you're lost in a story, you believe it's real, you don't realize it's a dream. Now, here's the glitch. If you wake up during REM, especially if you wake up naturally, you'll find yourself in what neuroscientists call the hypnopompic state. It's not quite awake and not quite asleep, but somewhere in between. And in this in-between state, many strange things can happen. You might open your eyes and feel that you've woken up, the bed sheets are in the same place, but you can't unlock your phone, or the clock glowing beside you shows strange hieroglyphics, or your body feels slightly out of place or strange or heavy or light. Or worse still, you might realize there's a presence just out of sight. Or it can get even stranger still. You might see ghosts or demons or even be abducted by aliens. So what's going on? Well, it's one of two things. If you wake up and you feel that you can't move, that you're paralyzed, stuck to the bed, then you're experiencing something called sleep paralysis, which can be accompanied by many vivid hallucinations. But if you can get up and things are out of place, then you're having what's known as a false awakening. And here's the important point. These aren't paranormal experiences, they're neurological. The dreaming and sleeping brain is fluid and creative, and there's a lot of seepage between the different worlds. And for most people, when these things occur, they have no idea what's going on because their prefrontal cortex is still half asleep. But if you learn how to navigate these states, you can turn this glitch, whether sleep paralysis or a false awakening, into a gateway to another reality. One that leads directly to the world of lucid dreaming. And that's where the 3:33 experiment comes in. The 3:33 technique. Okay, so here's the experiment. It starts with something deceptively simple. A ritual you do as you fall asleep at night. But it's one that might wake you up in another reality. Step 1. Set a mental alarm. So, as you go to bed at night As your head hits the pillow and you close your eyes, you're going to set an intention. Now, you're using the same part of your brain you would use if you had an important job interview the next day or an exam and you had to get up on time. You say to yourself clearly and firmly, I will wake up at 3:33 and I will check whether I'm dreaming. So you're not using an alarm or an app, just your own mind. Repeat this phrase to yourself several times until the intention is really set. This isn't wishing, this is intention setting. You are deciding to wake up at 3:33 naturally. Step 2, wake up naturally. Now, if everything's gone to plan and your circadian clock did its job, you should wake up around 3:33. Now, you want to stay as still as possible, minimize your breathing, just gentle breathing, don't make any noise, no sudden movements. Simply through half-lidded eyelids, turn your head and check your bedside clock. What time does it say? Step 3, check the time twice. So you should now be looking at your clock, and whatever the time says, look at it, look away or close your eyes, and then look back. Has the time stayed the same? So if the time hasn't changed, then you're probably awake. But if the time has changed, or the numbers are melting, or flickering, or don't make any sense at all, then you're experiencing a false awakening, and this is your chance to have a lucid dream. And there's another option here that you've woken up but you're unable to move, in which case you're having sleep paralysis. And if that's the case, then move on to the next step. Step 4, if the time is stable, begin reentry. So if the clock behaves normally and you're confident that you're awake, or if you can't look at the clock at all and you're in sleep paralysis, you're in the very delicate hypnopompic zone. So your brain has just left REM and the dream world is echoing throughout your brain. You're standing on the doorway between two realities. So don't reach for your phone. Don't turn on the light. Stay still and do nothing. Nothing except witnessing. Witness your thoughts. Witness the sounds around you. Witness the sensations in your body. Witness any visions that might occur. That as you're floating in this drifty space between two worlds, many, many things could occur. Let your eyes close and simply witness what happens. But whatever does happen, don't respond to it. Remain apathetic. Let the dreamlets come to you. Let yourself be washed over by the ocean of sleep. And things might get very strange. They might even become disturbing. But just stay calm and focused. Don't chase them. Don't run away from them. Just observe. And if you keep doing that, if you maintain your awareness, the dream will form around you and you'll find yourself standing in the dimension of lucid dreams. Step 5, if the time is unstable, then you're already dreaming. So if in step 3 you found that the clock was distorted or changing or just unstable, then you're having a false awakening. But what that means is the dream world is already here. You're having a lucid dream. And once you realize this is all a dream, don't panic. Simply enjoy the ride. You are now a tourist exploring another dimension. You can simply flow with the dream, watch where it takes you, or you can choose to go wherever you want to go, to do whatever you want to do. The dream is yours to experience. Step 6, if nothing happens. So maybe you woke up at 3:33 and the clock was stable and you lay there with your eyes closed simply witnessing, but there was nothing much to witness. You didn't re-enter the dream. Well, that's okay. This isn't always going to be instant. Don't approach these things expecting results, but approach it with an open mind ready to learn from what happens. So for every night where nothing happens, you'll have many other nights where you have an amazing lucid adventure. But each time you try, it's new information you're learning, you're developing your skills. And the same is true if you set the intention at the beginning of the night but didn't wake up until the morning. All you're doing there is learning how to set an intention, so keep trying again and again until you find that right part of your mind that will wake you up at the right time. So that's the 333 technique. Sometimes you don't need to hack your brain. Sometimes all it takes is a number, an intention, and a question. If I wake up at 3:33 a.m., how do I know it's real? And if you want to get real about lucid dreaming, try watching one of the videos on the screen right now and hitting that subscribe button. I'll see you there.